Hey everyone, how you doing today? As mentioned in our daily financial news, we have two of our experts going on today. And I don't know if you know this, but I thoroughly enjoy talking with all my experts every week. So hopefully that comes across. They're all awesome people doing amazing things. And we got Matt, the lumberjack landlord, this morning. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing awesome. And of course, you enjoy speaking with the lumberjack the most.
Of course.
But
well, I can tell you this much. There are many people that watch us and will comment, and you've probably seen them. I can't stop laughing. I mean, we just have a good time, and it's our sales management background. We kind of get the same inside jokes. We kind of trap each other once in a while.
It's 100%.
It's a lot of, it's like, oh, he got me. I'm now committed.
Yeah. Committing me to 5 pieces of content in my first weekend. Yeah, I remember things like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Jerk. So you said 3 to 5. So what I heard was 5?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sales management at its finest, everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah, you want it, so you say you want to be a salesman.
Let me tell you about the games of the trade.
Oh my word. Yeah.
But anyways, let's get into this. There was a proposal last week and in housing, and there's a lot of proposals going on, but this one caught my attention. I'm not sure if it caught yours. It's kind of an update, but a tweak on what folks were talking about. Originally it was a $15,000 tax credit. Then it was $15,000 at closing. Now they're up to 25 grand. And I wanted to get your thoughts on this because I saw that headline number and went, oh my God, housing is going to explode. What are these idiots doing? And then I read it, and my opinion changed a little. What do you think?
I mean, what's financial Armageddon between friends? Like, fine, whatever. Like,
yeah, I mean, money grows on trees, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, like turn the presses back on. Not like they were ever shut off.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I think that there's some finer points to this. You know, I always want to, I mean, everything that we do, right, is to help people get on the property ladder.
Yes.
That's everything that we do.
Everything we do. Yes.
And so you would think that guys like us see a program like this and we're like, holy cow, this is awesome. This isn't my lack of ability to read well because I dropped out of the 9th grade. It took me over a half hour to read that because I kept on getting so frustrated. I had to get up and walk away. Like it was just burning my ass. And I was just like, this is so stupid. But, to kind of cover the cliffhanger, this $25,000 is a grant. You don't have to pay it back. Hate that. Yeah. But it's a grant. And the problem is that they made it almost so narrow that it doesn't really hit all the people that it should. And I believe the government should be for all people, not for segments of people.
Yeah.
That's what I believe about our government. And I think that this plan, sadly, makes us a little more narrow than what I would like to see, and it will help far fewer than it could actually help.
Yeah. So when I saw this, first off, the headline number caught my attention. I'm like, shit, what happened to 15? Now 25. Yeah. I mean, is 50 next? Yeah. I mean, are we in some kind of auction, right? Where we just
exactly.
It's crazy.
Who in Washington can prove they understand the concept of math worse?
Yeah. So that was crazy. The second thing I thought of was kind of the next level of what are these people thinking? We have a supply problem, not a demand problem. Right. And I got to tell you, I read that hoping that I would see a supply side. I don't know. I shouldn't say hoping.
Yeah.
I thought maybe there'd be inkling of a supply side, right? Because again, right, think about the supply side. When you only address a demand in an environment with too much demand, that's not a good idea. It's just not.
Right.
And let's just be clear. Let's talk about supply side. You could create a supply side tweak. For example, we all like to complain about Wall Street and people taking advantage of the 2010 crisis and buying at rock bottom prices, right? Those greedy son of a guns, they took advantage, blah, 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 blah. So they could, right? If they want to fix that problem, what they could do is say, you know what? If you want to sell in the next 12 months, we will cut your capital gains tax in half.
Yep.
Think about that. Some of them would sell, right?
Of course.
Because if you don't do that, they're going to look at, they don't have a reason to sell. You have to give them a reason to sell. Yeah, I can hold. My yield is 12%. I got no money in the deal because I've refied my
That's right.
cash out already. You know, my return is infinite. I mean, it's these folks aren't fixing the supply side. So that's next, right?
You're
Dollar amount,
exactly right.
supply, demand. And then I'm like, all right, who is this aimed at? And yeah, there's a lot of language in there that makes it, you know, it is for you and not you, and it is for you and
Mhm.
not you. Too much of that. But the other thing that I thought was missing is there was, and again, it's a proposal, so maybe it's in the notes that
Sure.
aren't
It is
there
just a
yet.
proposal. Yep.
Is I love people getting on the property ladder, but here's the deal: I want them to stay there. Right? There was no
That's right.
kind of credit quality or no kind of reserve requirements, because the last thing I want to do is a repeat of 07, 08, where I saw people leave apartments who could have moved into an apartment, or they moved into a house for less than it would be to move into an apartment. So a wise decision, but they didn't have the
Right.
financial wherewithal to own a home. They didn't have a
Right.
reserve for stuff that breaks. I mean, a water heater, folks, is going to break.
That's right.
And if it breaks and you catch it early, it's probably $1,000 fix. If it breaks and you don't catch it for 24 hours, you're going to have flooring damage, and it could get to the wall. And you know, $1,000 becomes $5,000 very quickly.
Very fast.
And if you don't have the emergency funds, you know, property ladder, good. I believe property ladder, you know, got my high school graduate parents and allowed them to do wonderful things. I want it for everyone. But if you
Mhm.
get on it and then fall off it, it's traumatic. I mean, some of the most painful stories that I can still feel are people who got their first time home, were rocking and rolling, having a good time, and then ultimately lost it.
Yeah.
That affects generations,
That
right?
was, I mean, but Mike, the crazy thing, that's actually a provision in this proposed bill.
Yeah.
The provision in the bill actually says you're a first time home buyer if you haven't bought a home in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't understand what a first time home buyer is that hasn't bought a home in the last 3 years. You're either a first time home buyer or you're not.
Yeah.
But then the other piece that was more disturbing than any of it, and when I say disturbing, I mean it definitely picks a segment, right?
Yeah.
A segment of the market, which is what I don't like about things, is that it's for everybody or it's not. And the segment that they had in there, which was if you grew up in a house that was rented by your parents or guardians, not owned by your parents or guardians,
Mhm.
then you qualify for this program.
Yeah, you know what? I don't mind that. I actually
Okay.
don't mind that, right? If you're, again, there are people on that uh, just never thought about homeownership, right? Their
True.
grandparents, their parents.
Yep.
I actually don't mind that, right?
Yep.
I'll call it a first generation, right? If you're a
Sure. That's
first
what they're calling it.
generation
Yep.
homeowner,
That's what they're calling it.
more
Yep.
power to you.
Yep.
I
Well,
think
here's,
if that's the answer, I'm okay with that.
I say more power to them, but I think that there's a lot of people that still struggle and their parents owned their house. That's
Oh,
the only reason I don't like it.
oh no, no,
Right.
no. That's yep.
That's the only reason I don't like it. It's not the other side of like, well, we're giving something to this group of people. No, no, no. What I don't like about it is I think it's penalizing people
Mm-hmm.
that have parents that may have sacrificed everything for their home,
Yeah.
living penny to penny, paycheck to paycheck, working 3 jobs.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm more concerned about, because they made the decision that hell or high water that they were going to have stability in housing for their kids.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I mean, just think about my example, right? I'm the oldest of 2 kids.
Yep.
My sister has chosen a life path that is different than mine. She will never own a home. She doesn't have the
Yep.
financial means. She doesn't have the credit. Kind of complete polar opposites. So,
Yep.
in theory, you know, a program like this, if she got her ducks in a row, would help. But unfortunately, she wouldn't qualify because my parents served in the military, sacrificed everything they could, and bought a home in the mid
Correct.
70s. I mean,
Correct.
that,
And that's the only thing I don't like about that section of
yeah,
this bill. That's
yeah, yeah.
because you've got people that, and that was the real generation, right? That was the generation that lived for their families, did everything for their families, went to war if they couldn't get a job, like,
Mhm.
it served our
Yeah,
military. And that's what I hate about that part of this, is I feel it's very exclusionary
yeah,
to a group that doesn't deserve to be excluded.
yeah. I totally, yeah. I mean, it does. I mean, it's this is for you and not for you.
Welcome to
I
life. Yep.
Yeah, life's not
Sure.
fair. I don't
Agreed.
mind. I still don't mind it. I mean, it's not a perfect. And again, it's not a bill; it's a proposal. And this thing could
Right.
change
True.
17 ways from
Yep.
yesterday.
And let's
I'm
hope it does.
Yeah, exactly. I guess what I take from this is we are going to have a first time home buyer bill. It's going to be a credit.
Yeah.
That's all I
It's
know
going to
is
be a grant. Yeah,
it's
that's
going to be
right.
a
That's
grant.
right.
It's not on your tax
That's right.
return. There will be some money at proposal. And right now the numbers only seem to go up. It was 15, now it's 25. So anybody
Yeah.
for 30 or 35? Damn.
So what's really, but so there's the other piece of that too, which is it actually says in the bill that this can be used in conjunction with other programs.
It does. Yeah.
So if you watched our segment last week,
Yeah.
which you should have watched because
Come
it
on
was
now.
gold. But if you watch that, you could be talking about 15K from Bank of America.
You're
I mean,
right.
you're going to have to thread the needle a little bit,
Yeah, that's
but you
true.
could be talking about 15 and 25. You could be actually talking about 40.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Mike, those are the numbers.
What is going to happen to housing? Oh my God.
Actually, excuse me, my math sucks. It's 25 plus 17. It's 42.5, not 40.
Yeah.
It's 17.5 plus 25. So you could thread the needle and literally be getting $42,500 as a grant to buy a house.
Wow.
I just ordered my Amazon money shooters.
Yeah. I need me some of those.
Lumberjack be making it rain. 42.5, Mike. Like, I get Bank of America doing it because they're doing the math. I love it when companies create innovative product that puts the customer at no risk. It really puts the onus on them to service the debt properly, service the customer properly, maintain the relationship. It is incumbent upon them to return that because they don't want you to leave your home because they've invested $17,500 in your purchase.
Yeah.
I love it when companies invest in their customers. I love it. Huge fan. When the government starts coming up with programs like this, that makes a very, very slippery slope, doesn't apply to some because it's, legislating out the sun. Not a huge fan. And I think that this will help people, but if you're at 42.5, 42.5, and if you look at in the high, so one of the other things that was income means testing.
Yep.
So if you're 120%, but there are actually spots that go up to 180%.
I saw that high income areas or whatever, or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So let me kind of summarize what I think we're talking about here. A housing grant is coming.
Yep.
Targeted first-time buyers, to be defined what that is. 2, prices are going up, affordability is going down. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, the one thing I really hope on. Oh, getting on the property ladder. We both think is the goal. Awesome.
Yep.
I again, the big thing the only thing I'm going to be reading in these bills going forward is how do we keep people on the property ladder? Because I experience if you don't do that, people will rush for the free money. It's what you ask them to do. And then guys like us or Wall Street will just go like this. Foreclosure crisis coming.
It's coming. It's right. Because it's about being ready for the type of financial commitment that a house is.
It's true. Yeah.
It's a commitment. And sometimes it's hard to live up to that commitment.
Yeah.
Just is like
just a full experience, right? I've done this last time. The crazy nonsense lending started in 07. It got nutty in 08. It kind of died out in early 09. The value started showing up in 11. So if you're Wall Street, you're like, go for it, guys. Give everybody some free loans. They can't afford housing. The first thing that breaks, they'll not be able to afford it. The next recession, they'll lose their job, blah, blah, blah. And we'll pick them up in 2025.
Yeah. Well, and that's right. And it's almost something that it's almost like a timed event.
Yeah.
Because it's just math and it's just figures and it's just experience. But one of the things that, we're going to put out on Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube, on my channel, one of the things that we're going to put out is we actually have found some of the links that are available, and I can provide them to you too. Sure. But we found out some of the links that are available for finding out, like where you fit in, where your area that you're looking at fits in, the 180% versus 120%. Nice. So we found some of those links. And so, certainly make those available to you guys. And we're going to put them on our channel too. But It's, it scares me just a little bit.
Yeah.
It scares me just a little bit because I think that with just one piece of that being adjusted, just one piece of that, proposal being adjusted, I think it's a much better program. They do talk about financial counseling in there, but we've seen how that's gone in the past.
Yeah.
I think it has to be more than just counseling. It actually has to be, you got to take a test. We're going to give you thousands of dollars. You got to take a test and really understand what you're getting into. Not just sit and
How
listen,
about
but
just
really
6 months
understand.
of savings, $400 or whatever it is, right? So
Yes.
your emergency fund builds, or something that actually shows you can delay gratification and not stop.
Yeah.
Because all you want to do is give them a house, and I can already see it. Man, I got a bigger house. I need a bigger TV. I need a nicer couch. I need some chairs. I need this. And then pretty
Yeah.
soon you're freaking borrowing from everybody, and your credit's shot. You have no margin, and disaster happens. It's
Yeah. And I don't want people to go through that. Like
no.
I'm a businessman. And so I will end up the benefactor of things going sideways for people that didn't properly do things.
Yeah.
However, it's not because I enjoy the physical pain and toll that it costs, but that asset has to be done something with. The bank has to unload it. Somebody has to get it back in the marketing mix.
Yeah.
So people have a place to live. That's the service, right?
Absolutely.
But I don't want to see that happen. I want to see people get on the property ladder, stay, and use that to create wealth starting 18, 19, 20 years old, because then when they're 40 or 45, their mortgage, if they just did some little work contributing to the principal of it, they will own their home outright.
Yeah.
And that will change their life.
Cool. Well, more stuff coming here. Again, it's a proposal. I'm sure there's more coming. It's never boring. They got to fix the supply side,
They
man.
do.
More demand. Oh my God. All right. Look
Don't
forward to
worry, it's
episode
coming.
number 2. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Thanks,
Take
Mike.
care. Uh-huh.